Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome. We are here for this week's Brainstorm Friday, and we are so delighted that whether you are live listening to this or being able to have a chance to listen to the recording, that you're able to hear what we get a chance to talk about on our Brainstorming Friday sessions. So our key thing this morning is going over the basics that oftentimes we overlook, which are the 4 keys to wellness and the 5 pillars of balance. We have an amazing group of us all here this morning, and I'm looking forward to us getting a chance to have a relaxed conversation whereby we get a chance to talk about the things that work for us, the things that we've learned, and then also invite each of you who's listening to this to be able to be a part of the amazing transformation. We're very much all committed to being servant transformative leaders. And in this day and age where we really are being bombarded with modern toxic death styles, it is so vital that we get a chance to be called out of the death styles that so many of us are unaware of and actually giving an invitation to living our best life. So we're going to talk about that today, and I'm looking forward to all of my amazing co-hosts this morning chiming on in with me, whereby we can dig a little deeper. So first thing I mentioned was the 4 keys. 4 keys to wellness. And those are really basic. First being nutrition. Nutrition right now, if you go anywhere, and I don't care where you go, you are not getting the quality of bioavailable nutrition that our ancestors, our elders once had. If you go back just a few generations, it's actually a real sad thing that as a farmer, I was talking to one of my mentors, and he said, one of the best carrots today, you'd literally have to eat 10 of them to get the nutritional value of 1 carrot of yesteryear. So most of us, right, are not eating 10 times as much of whatever food that we're eating. So as the result, toxic nutrition is harming us every which way. Modern toxic lifestyles with energy disruption. We typically do not have dirt floors, right? And as the result of not having a dirt floor, we really aren't connected with the natural magnetism of the earth. So much of what used to be our normal way of lifestyle has been taken over by what is really a death style. It's marketed to us, we do it, we think it's normal, when in fact there's nothing normal about it at all. Then you have water. Water, everyone I think knows 75% of your body should be made of water. But the question is, are we getting water, or are we getting something that is being sold to us and we're thinking it's water? Whether it's coming through our well, which is constantly being impacted by all of the actual toxins and poisons that are seeping in from the ground into the groundwater, or whether it's your tap water. It's scary just thinking of the toxic soup that many of us, we reach for. And then when you look at these plastic, toxic, low-grade plastic water bottles, well, 24,000 chemicals is not what people are attempting to get when they're investing to purchase, right, this bottle from these stores that are being marketed to us. And most of us don't realize that a lot of times in those bottles is really tap water. And in a lot of those bottles are all kinds of chemicals. Last but not least, sleep. Sleep is something that just this morning I was having a chance to talk to one of my amazing co-collaborators. And it was scary because he shared with me that he only sleeps a lot of times, a few hours, and that was his normal before. Well, anytime we sleep for less than 6 hours, our immune system has crashed by 60% and cancer cells are proliferating on high. So we've got to do better. But in order to do better, we have to know better. And we, can't take advantage of living our best life when we don't know that we don't know. So today we're going to dig a little deeper. We're going to talk about the things that oftentimes, too often, we don't really focus in on. So today we look forward to digging a lot deeper and talking about those things. And I'm going to open up the floor. I see some of my amazing co-hosts this morning. So anybody that's willing and ready to jump in and talk to me about what you have learned by virtue of having the tools, right? Because we have amazing tools within nutrition, energy, water, and sleep. What are some of your favorites that you've seen that have made life become a lot better? Don't all jump at once. Sister Latika, you had an experience that I got a chance to witness because we were very much, right, just relaxing and doing our thing, but we were in Miami. Would you be willing to share your experience with the tools? Because I know for me, when I first heard about the tools, it was just this thing that somebody was talking about, but it's one thing to know that I've had a chronic issue and then to actually see that chronic issue go away. Would you share?
Absolutely. Thank you. First of all, morning to everybody. I was experiencing an extreme cramp, to say the least. If there was a word larger than extreme, I would use that. And it actually had been going on for a couple of hours, actually longer than hours, maybe several hours, because it was off and on, up and down. I was trying to walk it off, rub it out. None of that was working. I tried to sleep it off, woke back up, it was still there. And look, you came in and you was like, you're gonna have to try these tools. And of course, I was like, look, whatever. Wrap your leg in this and press it on. And I wrapped the leg and I pressed and I pressed. And actually, in I would say from recollection, at most 20 to 30 minutes, it was gone. As a matter of fact, it was so gone that I was afraid to move my leg because I was trying to figure out look where the pain was. If I stand up, is it going to come back? But I did get up and walk, and it did not come back. And actually, I've not had another cramp since then. And that was several weeks ago.
Yay. And so that was after traveling, which is something most people get a chance to have all kinds of issues from after doing. And you actually utilize the Kinko ground. And we laid you on that, and I had you wrap that around your leg, as well as the Kinko touch. And we also used one of the magnets. So typically when you have that, it would come back pretty soon. Am I right? Latika?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a huge difference then to end up having the issue, utilizing energy tools, and then not having the issue resurface. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important do you think that is for everybody to be able to do when suffering?
10 times 10.
And that was my feeling. So I know just a couple of days ago, somebody was saying, oh, you know, I don't want to be selling anybody any product or anything. And I was thinking to myself, I don't sell anything, because for me, this is solution. And if I have a solution, I want to be able to share with others the solutions that I have. And so I'm the super no salesy girl, because if it works for you, then it's good to then utilize it, because you want to have the things that are going to give you the most benefit. And for me, living my best life is important. And so the joke is that I had traveled 20 some hours, right, down to Miami, and we were having an amazing time. And because I was not moving the same, I had a cramp the day before. So I knew exactly what to do, because I had just fixed mine the day before. So it's scary looking at the way our bodies are bombarded. So in the case of how I traveled, my body typically isn't immersed in Wi-Fi, because I don't have Wi-Fi in my home at all. I actually hardwire everything. So it was funny just to see how my body was impacted by the things that most people do every day, but because of my knowledge of the 4Keys2Wellness, you know, I just don't do anymore. So that was really, really huge to just see how things change. So now who else is going to jump on it with me next? I see Miss Hattie Jane. I see Sister Graves. You guys just jump.
Well, with our brief discussion earlier, here I jump.
Yay.
You mentioned that some folks were going on a journey to adjust their metabolism and possibly change a part of their existence.
Yes.
When I'm speaking specifically to my journey with KVB, my weight at one point in life had gotten up, and it was around this time, had gotten up to nearly 300. And the year before, I had gone and I'd spent 10 hours a week in the wonderful swimming pool we have over this way through our county, and had done aerobics all those 10 hours. Did a great time. I really was good. I was moving well, but I wasn't all that much slimmer.
Right.
At all. So that was good. And KVB came out, and that winter was difficult. Learned some new things and used our magnetic territories to good effect. But that's another story. So come summertime.
That's a good story. So I like hearing the synergy, right? Because a lot of people, I've been watching them in the group that one of our co-collaborators is doing, and all they're talking about is exercise. And so I liked hearing what you were saying, because I'm assuming that was a chlorine pool you were in, which means you're drinking toxic water as you're swimming in it, right? And so instead, having the nutritionals, the energy tools, the water tools, and the sleep tools, I know from listening to your journey in the past, that's how you did it.
But I wind up taking so much time. Anyway, because that brings up the fact that when I would shower after coming out of the water, the over-chlorinated area, because there's so many swimmers and a lot of them are kids, we'd shower off and get dressed and so forth. And if I didn't get into the shower at home, which has our marvelous technology in it, for 3 days I'd stink of chlorine.
Wow.
And at home I use our technology so that I don't drink anything with chlorine in it. And I basically drink that a lot. And besides that, if I didn't shower at home, which hasn't had chlorine in it because of our technology, and it has other good things, I would stink for 3 days. So it's like the absorption within my body of that swimming pool chlorine was working through my system. But if I came home and immediately, I wouldn't immediately anyway because I was wet. So I did a shower with our technology, and I didn't have that problem.
And so you're talking about this same one right here, right? Huge, hugely important. Hattie J, I want to put pin 1 second. Sister Grace, are you able to jump in and talk about how you explained the whole gas chamber effect?
Sure. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, this I heard from another person in the company, Brody Craney, where he says, when we shower, you basically are emitting the chlorine that's in the water. It then becomes gaseous. So basically, you then flood your whole home with chlorine, and that's what he said is the largest indoor air pollutant. So we're making our homes more toxic than it is outside, and most of us don't know that.
Huge to know that, and so it's a blessing to know. So Hattie Jane, with that understanding, you already then made sure that you had your actual shower. So keep going, because I know you got nutrition.
I had a wellness home ever since we could have a wellness home. So that's been a little while now. And that way, when a lot of the technology, I think every technology we've got is in here. So there's a lot of living now. Am I super healthy? Do I still have challenges? Oh yeah, but that's living. Now, I didn't get to the age I am with doing all the good stuff. So I'm whatever. Anyway, back on to the fact that I was aware that we had a good nutrition, and I've been I had all my wellness home. I was doing a lot of good stuff, but I still was not reaching to the nature of health that I wanted, in that I was having a little more trouble with mental memory type orientation. And I'd taken care of my mother through her journey in Alzheimer's in this very home. And so that provided me. So I went and got myself all studied up. No, I just have something called ADD all my life that I've adjusted for, and it's just a little more hard to adjust it nowadays. as life goes on, some things slow down. Okay, so when I went on KVB and its liver support and its digestion and a few of the other things, which are nutritional based whole foods, was because I trusted my company. Since all my life I'd had allergies and had this strange thing called ADD that nobody knew took for, they just were lazy or something. I many times tried to do what people had tried to do, they told me I could do and everybody else was doing, and it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
So taking nutritionals for me was a big leap of faith because a lot of things hadn't worked out.
Right.
Going 10 hours a week in a wonderful program, in different programs in the water, worked out on some things, but not on others. So onward, and so I started our nutritionals. That was the only thing I wasn't doing with me. Well, I'm a dummy. I should have started a lot sooner.
Synergy.
Energy, and besides energy, if you have living parts and they don't get if you try to grow a tropical in New England and you don't protect it from the temperature changes that it is not inherently able to handle, it's not going to be able to survive. If you don't feed the child when it's born, it is not going to be able to survive to grow. Well, just because we got out of the womb and we've lived to whatever age we're at does not mean that we have the proper, as you said, nutrition to allow us to grow and to maintain themselves. And so some folks like to combine it to a car, giving oil or the proper gas, but that's kind of mechanical and that's not living tissue. And we're living tissue. So it's more than one component.
Right.
It's all those things together that really make a huge, huge difference. So when I went on it because I was aware I wasn't able to remember things better. And I'd seen my mother's example in her journey. Yeah. And so, I said, okay, now to keep a brain alive, you need to do practice. You need learning things. Is how our brains really work. Well, our main thing is knowledge. So I went over to the computer store that was giving classes on its computer, and I went to that regularly to try to learn how to handle these little smartphones, smartphone, and a little how to handle a notebook. So that became how I got myself out. I got myself moderately dressed and went into public.
So then I heard you say as a nutritional
program.
You used very specific things. And I know energy tools, I know you used very specific things. I know water, you used very specific things. Sleep, you used very specific things. Share with us what you used and then what you actually saw as the difference from the before and the after.
When I started back in, about 22 years ago, I started we had insoles, some patches, and the sleep pad. And so since then, as they've added, so I've been drinking water for some time, our Nikan Pine Mag water. So my addition was specifically our nutritionals.
And so what did you see change and what did you actually use? What were the new nutritionals that you put in?
KVB, which is our newest nutritional weight management program, which has a whole variety of things. It's not just for, it's just not to change poundage.
Right.
It's more than that. But the moment I was focused on, and so I was focusing on the fact that one of our investigative individuals had shared how well it facilitates enhancing my dopamine territory, which in some of the problems I have is a problem that is under stress. And dopamine is a neurotransmitter in our brain. And forgive me, people, my background is nursing, and my interest is in medical world, so I sometimes pop over into an area that's not necessary to know. But that's what helped me get on. And it's a powder, I put it in the water like I was told to, and then I shook it up good, really shook, and I drank it, and it was like, keep the faith, keep the faith, fire taste. This is what you need, keep the faith. And so my process was to take that shake 1 or 2 times, and at time I did that and salads.
Okay.
For my first 6 weeks or so. And then,
So every day, what I think I'm hearing you say is that every day you would take 2 of your meals out and replace them with the KVB. Am I right?
No, I didn't go out that much.
Okay.
I worked in my yard a lot.
Okay. So what was your frequency, I guess is what I'm asking, in terms of taking KVB?
I took KVB in the morning.
Okay.
And liver support at that time, and the digestion.
Okay. So then with what we have today, it would be the cleanse and detox,
right,
as well as the KVB,
right,
and then the digestion. Okay. And then, of course, you had your water. And then what sleep tools were you also using?
Also, the green enzymes.
Green enzymes, yay.
Then, and that I would take, and then I'd get out in the yard.
Okay, so you got the body moving.
Oh boy, and that would take me pretty much hanging in there to about the noontime or so.
Okay.
Then I would go for a salad or thing, or if I'd scarf some pies from someplace, I'd have a piece of pie. That's not appropriate, but in time it'll adjust.
But you got the win, even with some of the cheating, so that's fine. It's all about balance, right?
Exactly. And you do not change your habits overnight. And I have to remove everything from the house that I can eat, because boy, I'll go looking for it.
But so I know the after, because I met you in the after phase. And so I was blown away when I saw the before phase, because I'm saying, whoa, 100 pounds, most people, 1, have a very hard time getting rid of 100 pounds, and 2, for you to have kept it off for years is amazing. So share with us kind of how that improved life, and had you ever worked to try to get rid of weight before that?
When hadn't I?
Huge.
Hadn't I? After elementary school.
Okay. So then you're kind of like a lot of people I know. So me, myself, I have always in my lifetime been the thicker girl in the room. So I ended up becoming almost anorexic, trying to be the skinny girl, and I won. But in the process, I ended up making my body very much unhealthy. So you get a chance to see, these fad things. I remember going and buying all of this crazy stuff, eating all of this mess. And so now, as I have over time seen the negative impacts with different issues that came up, it was kind of like, I remember what I was doing, trying to look a certain way. So I love that in your journey, you were focusing on brain health, and just one of the amazing side effects, as you would call it, was getting rid of the excess weight. So Grace, I always chime to you when we start talking about them good fats, because a lot of people are into keto these days. And it's very much interesting to me that the KVB works on the principles of keto naturally.
But it's not just keto.
Oh, it's definitively beyond, but it fits in that scheme, right? And so a lot of people know certain things. And so it's a matter of us all sharing, whereby people begin to learn what they don't know. And so what's in KVB, Sister Grace, chime in and help me out, because you, as well as Hattie Jane and others, I'm surrounded by all these nerdy people. I love it. So
well, it has medium chain triglycerides, which are the fats that the brain loves.
Awesome. And so it loves it. Do you know why? What does it do? Why does it matter?
Because those are the fats that help the brain to function better. It's also, as you said, it's also synergistic for your body. And that's one of the beautiful things with the product, KVB, is that it gives you what you want from it. If you want to lose weight, it helps you to lose weight. If you want to bulk up, it helps you to do that.
Yeah, yeah. And I've watched that in my own household, because as I am not trying to lose weight, I always say never try to lose weight, because if you lose it, the universe is going to try to help you find it again. So, but my husband is working on bulking, wherein I'm not really fully committed to getting rid of weight because I'm preparing for going on another pregnancy journey. However, right, it was funny because I naturally saw, just from using the nutritionals, just using the energy tools, just using the water tools, just using the sleep tools, I was watching weight go away. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm kind of like how Hattie J, I'm not trying to get rid of weight.
I don't mind it.
Right. Such a journey. And so most people instead will work out these arduous number of hours, doing all kinds of things that is adversely impacting their joints. And I'm saying negative. I'm not doing any of that. I'm going to do, things that are going to get the body to move. Obviously, nutritionals, right? That KVB that we have is amazing. Cleanse and detox before I go to bed. I just think it's awesome because I'm cool with sleeping away the fat. Maybe I'm just a bad girl. I don't know. But our nutritionals with the energy tools, with the water tools, this right here, I think is amazing for being right in front of that thyroid. So it's helping the body to put itself back together again. And then our water is mineralized, it's highly filtered, it's pH balanced. So you're literally giving your body what it needs to actually wash that stuff away. And then sleep is really when the repairing and detoxification is at optimum. Huge in importance. Hattie Jane, any other pieces, things that you learned on the journey to really help those of us who know that we need to, after this next pregnancy, I'm gonna be on that weight management kick. And we still, right, are supporting others who are, they're focused, right, is different. A lot of people are really focused on what they look like. And so as the result, they want to weigh a certain number. What were some of the things? It sounds like you're saying you had battled, right? But it wasn't until you approached it from a perspective of nutrition, energy, water, and sleep using our tools that you got a chance to really get a big win. Because like I said, I think it's amazing. You weren't the yo-yo girl. You kept that weight off.
And one of the things during the journey was refusing to use numbers as however, I did keep an eye on numbers because I attend my doctor regularly. You have a date every month. And the benefit was not what the number was, but was it going in the right direction? That could be only a half a pound or less, but it was in the right direction, less than it was the month before. And that was the only thing that was important. So numbers, I deliberately stayed away from numbers. The other factor was, the other thing I started to enjoy was going shopping in my closet, because a pair of trousers fell off my hips in public. It was like, whoops, so I went to safety pins. I didn't sew them, I didn't adjust them. I went to safety pins because those were, you could change that because we do flux a bit. And I never really truly gone down as well, as consistently as I was doing on this. So it became a way of maybe doing a little bit of thinking about fashion and adjusting the pins so it looked nicer or different. And I could do that with safety pins. My good strong ones. There are a lot out there that are really lightweight. Then the other thing was, as I said earlier, get rid of everything in the house. Now, if you have a family, it's a little tricky. In that, yes, the background is much better. Thank you all so much. Where in the world was I? Oh, and I'm so glad I didn't curse. I remember.
You were saying get rid of the stuff in the
It
house.
helps with a lot of stuff. Now, so it was basically work on taking pleasure in your positive growth. Let the other go. If I found myself thinking I should be doing better than what I was, whatever it was, like remembering how to work a program on the phone, an application on the phone. If I couldn't remember it, I went to classes and we went over the same thing, and suddenly I found, hey, I'm ahead of what they're teaching in the class. I can remember how to do that before they tell me how to do it. That's a positive. Woo!
Yeah.
And it was fun. Get back to having fun because it's positive.
You know, I think you just brought up the key point that we haven't addressed on today's call, which is the 5 pillars of balance. So it's that healthy relationship with our mind. And so like you, I'm not a fan of, I used to do like crazy things that I think are just really obsessive. I would weigh every day. And so if I didn't get rid of a pound every day, I just knew that I had messed up. There was something wrong. So I was definitively obsessive. So I can show anybody, right, that wants to get rid of a pound a day how to do it. I'm not suggesting it's the best thing to do, but I know how to do it. So it's much better to approach it from a rooting in the 5 pillars of balance, right? Because then you're having a healthy relationship with all 5 pillars, with our own mind, right? Our own body, our own finances, right? Making sure that our relationships are supporting what our goals are. So having a good relationship with our family and community that's supporting what we're doing. And so it's knowing how to keep boundaries, huge in terms of what we've gained in the journey from our Nikan journey, because these were things that I think most in my circle, we are so much into serving, but forget that, as Dr. Sandra Thornton taught me so well, and I don't even think she realized just how invaluable it was giving from the overflow rather than my reserves. So I was not doing anything good in my attempts to serve everyone else, when in fact I was teaching them to be unjust to me. That made no sense logically. But how many of us do that? Latika, I don't know if you're still available to jump in, because I know you're going to a medical school class, but at some point this morning, and I think it's probably soon, but I think you have time?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you were talking about that one yesterday, and it was actually a Facebook conversation, right? But
Right.
What are your thoughts? Because after you read what I saw your little, hearts and stuff. Do you kind of see where I'm going? Does it make any sense?
Oh yes, it makes perfect sense.
Okay. So what are your thoughts, Sister Grace? Because I know I have watched you transform, right? So as one of my besties, I've sat there, and you, like my husband, are both the ones that typically walk into the room and y'all don't say nothing. Y'all will know everything about the entire subject, could teach a class on it, but y'all will just sit there. But I have watched you radically transform. I've watched you become a servant leader in a way that you are helping so many people who the medical model of care would have surgically just done all kinds of invasive things to. And it was all because you began this journey to really support your daughter, right? But in so doing, I watched you support you in living your best life in process. So talk to me, share with me.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Where to start? Earlier we were talking about traveling, and I just got back from traveling, taking Kalila to school, and I must admit, even though I bought the stuff for her, I never tried it. I tried the 10-4 the last time I had to go get her. This time I tried the KVB, the 10-4, and the Super Siaga. And the night before we left, I got an hour sleep. So, I was real groggy. And I was like, okay, let's put this stuff to the test. And mixed it up. drank it, and I was like sitting there and just feeling myself become awake, becoming quite aware, and that I made it through the journey. And the person who came along with me, goes, "Oh, you're trying to kill me with the stuff," because as you said, the taste, it takes some getting used to. But when I tasted it, as you said, you told me mix all three together, and I was like, okay, you can. It's not as bad as you think. The person also drank it, and we were able to make the journey. And as you said, you were like, we were surprised how awake you were, aware, so you could react better because you're on the road with crazy people, so you have to drive for you and them. So it was incredible that you made it. And then one of the things I also like with especially the 10-4, is unlike coffee, where then you get irritated and it takes a while to come down, you naturally come down and you can, go to sleep, and, you're doing well.
Yay, yay. And so I love it because I've got a chance to hear, right, the amazing testimonies that you share with me. And I'm just like, yes, mission accomplished. But I don't think you would have had all of these had you not become a co-collaborator with me in this. Am I right or wrong? Like, would you have, if it wasn't for the fact that you were getting all the stuff wholesale, thereby, kind of motivating you, right, to explore more, would you been as motivated to share as much as you did, as opposed to doing this, I've got this that I'm working on for me and my daughter, and it's just about me, myself, and my daughter, and that's it? Do you?
Probably not. Probably not. And as you said, the interest, as it works for you, it works for her. Because if it wasn't for the Nika sleep tools, she wouldn't have made it through last year, her first year in college. Because she had scoliosis, and it started affecting her breathing, and it wasn't until after the surgery when they showed before and after of her spine to see how her spine was was not in very good shape. I showed my sister afterwards, she came to visit, and she was like, oh my goodness,
Right.
Because her spine was not only, it was curved in 3 dimensions, so it was really affecting her lungs. She wasn't able to breathe. And if it wasn't for the Nika tools, she wouldn't have been able to sleep.
Yeah, I remember you shared with me, because I think at that time in the very beginning, I know you had the water, I know you had the Kinko seat, I know certain nutritionals, and I remember it was like that first night, you didn't even know that she was having an issue with breathing, but that first night when she got on it, you had realized that the breathing issue that you had just discovered was automatically just kind of not happening anymore, which was like, yay, right? So it shows that the body is designed to do what it's supposed to do when we give it the nutrition, energy, water, and sleep, that it was designed, right, by the one that made it. The creator kind of sort of knew in nature what to give us to keep us living our best life. But if we don't, realize that we have to unplug from these modern toxic death styles, we just keep harming ourselves more and more and more. It has been such a delight to share with each of you this morning. I know that we want to keep this recording short so everyone can get a chance to get through as much of it as possible. So I'm going to end that recording, whereby everyone can get a chance to view it. And do get back in contact with the person who actually shared the recording with you, whereby you can get a chance to do like we're doing, right? Embracing the journey, stepping away from the modern toxic death styles, and embracing the 4 keys to wellness and the 5 pillars of balance. It's all upside, no downside. We look forward to having you join with us and just learn more, right? Have a great one.